Alright, JBM here. I'm back for my first Olympic video, 2014 Sochi style. Now, it's so hard to get a lot of information in America for Olympic sports. Well, it's really time consuming. You have to look up a bunch of different websites. There really isn't one definitive. Plus, the rights only go to one network, NBC, which is owned by Universal, which is famous for their Universal monster movies back in the 30s, Dracula, Frankenstein. So they own the rights, which is also like under the influence of like the government, and so we get the propaganda perspective, and they cater really not to sports fans. They cater to like middle-aged America casual sports fans. Not all sports are like that, or portrayed like that in the USA, but unfortunately all the Olympics are like that because that's the way they do it with NBC. They put it all in prime time so they could make the most out of their advertisers' money, the biggest events of the day of our biggest USA stars. So, day one, few random thoughts to go over. I'm no pundit, I'm just an aficionado, I'm just your average Joe. And it sucks. So you can't get that much information, so this is through the eyes of the perspective of the delay. Anyway, this is one of the events I was definitely looking forward to. Didn't know it was on the first day. Well, you never know until they actually tell you, really. The defending moguls for women's downhill moguls. Hannah Kearney, defending gold. I rooted for her in 2010. If I can remember, it was a semi-upset versus another Canadian who was the favorite in that event. And she won it back then when she was around, 23, 24? Now she's 27. She ended up choking. It was just one too big on her backflip. She didn't really describe it in detail. And then her leg ended up in the air, which cost her a lot. Ended up in bronze. Then the Defour LaPointe sisters ended up getting gold and silver. And she had a pretty poignant interview afterwards where she really laid it out there pretty candidly, and she was like, well, that's pretty much it for my it's so, you could tell it's so exasperating on the knees. And apparently she's gone through a lot of injuries. Haven't even seen her. I don't know if they show that much of it on Universal Sports. They're always changing networks or changing channel numbers. This is their alternate channel. They're really not showing that much through the night. Well, it's only day one, Anyway, well, she said the peak of her athletic performance is pretty much behind her, and even if she wanted to do it another 4 years, it's not physically possible, considering the girl that won it was 19. So that was really sad. She's around my age, rooted for the first in Vancouver in 2010, and so that was devastating. And then let's go on to another thing that caught my eye. Subway commercials. Nastia Lukin. They always get these former Olympic stars to try and sell us these foot-long subs. And it's so annoying. It's really so fake. Anyway, let's see here. Then they did team figure skating, which is a lot of different events, a lot of different skaters, a lot of different styles. I didn't even get to see Plashenko. I guess it happened even before the opening ceremony. To touch on the opening ceremony, to give a few thoughts on the opening ceremony. Alright, you ready for this? Maria Sharapova, didn't she hold the flag? Did she walk in holding the flag in the Summer Olympics, and then she did it in this one? I don't know, I can't remember. She's their most iconic one, and she's not even a winter athlete. This one kind of came as a shocker to me. I really didn't see it coming. This guy was in, I idolized this guy back in the 90s, Sandis Ozolinsh. He's a former NHL defenseman for the San Jose Sharks, Colorado Avalanche, and he's playing for Team Latvia. He held the flag. Awesome to see him. Awesome to see him still playing. Can't wait to see him in the tournament. Usually you get to see a lot of older NHL players who are European who left the NHL and are back playing in their local countries or whatnot, and you don't see them anymore. And I grew up watching some of these guys, so this is going to be awesome for the hockey tournament. I might do a separate video talking about a preview for the hockey tournament coming up, giving some few thoughts. But any other flag bearers? Okay, there was one athlete from Nepal, Dakri Shepra, and it was like a pennant style flag. Everyone knows that Nepal's like that, and he's like a full-time bricklayer who's in cross country. He knows he's going to get last because the Norways always get first. Norwegian. Oh wait, I'm going to get so much hate for that one. And let's talk about the rest of day one, some of the other highlights. Wrap it up here quick. Let's refocus. Snowboarding slopestyle. This is the first time this has been held. It's kind of like a course with 3 big jumps. It's so X Games. The favorite of it, this is the one that Shaun White ended up dropping out of. This would have been really more interesting if he would have been in this event, but apparently he blames it on bruises and he was really sore and he just wants to concentrate on getting the 3-peat in the half pipe. Understandable, it's his body, he knows what's best for it. And even the favorite though, Max Perot from Canada, he ended up not medaling. Although in his jumps he looked pretty good. I don't know what happened. I think he slipped slightly on a few of the big jumps. But then in an upset, the American, this is the first medal handed out on day one, Sage Katzenberg, who's a total surfer-style personality. He ended up winning. The Netherlands swept the 5,000 speed skating. In other news, the Cobra Commander's evil. In Antarctica has snow. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say for day one. I'll do a separate video talking about the hockey tournament before it starts now here, so tune in to all my video logs for the rest of the Olympics, and now you can loathe me.